Praise the Lord, Brother John McGlone from JesusPreacher.com. I want to do a short video as an introduction to a series of short videos concerning the issues surrounding the SOAPA Atlanta Great Words and Railing debate between Aaron Brummett and Aidan Rusfelt. First of all, I wanted to thank the SOAPA for their hosting of the debate. Very much appreciated. I hope we can do these things in the future. And I want to thank the debaters themselves. I wanted to thank the viewers, the folks that were there at the event, and all our Christian brothers and sisters who are in support of the open-air preaching community. Next, I wanted to make an apology for my poor moderation skills at the end of the debate, specifically during the Q&A session, that led to the spiritual explosion we saw and the different outburstings that we viewed by some of the participants in the audience, and even with the debaters themselves. So I wanted to apologize for that to the viewers, and of course I've already gotten things right with the Lord about it and learned a lot from it. You know, you never will learn anything if you don't stumble around a little bit trying to learn how to do it. So both with moderation of debates and with debating itself, I'm very interested to do some future debates myself. So I want to apologize for that poor moderation. I wanted to apologize to Aaron for the confusion before the debate about the graphic that was given to him. And I had released the outline to the debate itself in response to what I thought, what I perceive, and still perceive in a sense, what I perceive to be a reframing of the debate. Aaron took our graphic, and it's just all public knowledge, took our graphic and added a border in which he put that he was going to debate cursing preachers who are Antichrist. That was never an agreement in the debate, which is why I released the outline. So I did want to apologize for that misunderstanding. I think from his point of view, he's being innocent. I thought it was a little underhanded and deceptive for him to do that and use those inflammatory terms and really slander the debate itself and the SOAPA, which is part of our agreement not to do prior to and during the debate. Okay, I wanted to encourage everybody that may have sinned that Friday night, Friday the 13th, in whatever it was, whether it's I didn't moderate properly, or I said things I shouldn't have said, or I got physical with people I shouldn't have gotten physical with, or whatever it may have been, or judged a brother wrongly, accused a brother wrongly, and God knows these things perfectly. And we need to seek ourselves, if we were involved in these things at all, and confess them to God and go to that person that you've offended and apologize. This is not rocket science, folks. This is simply Christianity 101. We're to forgive our brothers 70 times 7, and that's the way it is. So get to it. So examine yourselves according to 2 Corinthians 13:5. Transparency and accountability goes along with this. Everything that's happened is completely transparent before God. We need to be transparent with ourselves. Jim Gillis had some issues with thinking that I was being partial towards him and not allowing questions or allowing Reuben to take control of the Q&A session part of it. And here's my perspective, Jim, and anybody else that wants to know. As I was receiving question cards, because as the debate was framed, we were supposed to do questions through the moderator, that was me, and allow a 1 minute answer period for each question, giving 10 questions to each debater. Reuben approached me as I was examining the cards and realizing what poor penmanship many of the questions were written in, and I was having trouble reading them. And then I had the thought, well, What if I'm reading it in the wrong idea or reading it with the wrong spirit? I don't communicate the question properly as the questioner would want it done. While I'm thinking these things, Brother Reuben approaches me and says, "Brother, I want to put things in order. Can we do 2 lines, one on each side for each debater, and let them ask succinct questions?" I said, "Well, that would be good. That would be perfect." And so we set that up. The debaters knew what we were doing. I had the authority as the moderator to do that, to make that change. The debaters didn't register any objection to it. They were briefed before the debate. In the outline, you'll see a section talking about objections. So each debater could have raised any objections at any point during the debate. All right, so who won? Well, I think if we're going to look at numbers, it appears that Aaron Brummett won the day. He made a very good presentation. I liked a lot of his arguments. They were very persuasive, especially about the was Jesus a railer part of the debate. And but the harsh words, very subjective, and that was part of the disruption during the Q&A session. Was that Jim Gillis wanted okay, everybody stand up for whatever words they want to stand up for, and John Williams was objecting to that, and that started the furor over the Q&A session. Excuse me. Pastor Aiden, he admitted it was his first debate. He was very nervous. He has a very full schedule preaching. I think he's preaching like 5 days a week, plus his time with his fellowship or his church there in Philly, and a lot of responsibilities. And I was really, and would encourage anybody who's thinking on doing a debate to make a lot of time in their schedule to study the issues out and make sure they're well rested, both naturally and spiritually, before a debate. Okay, so liberty of words. I think that Aiden actually had some really good cross-examinations on the liberty of words. His part about where he was cross-examining Brother Aaron about did he use the term wicked as hell was really interesting. I'm going to talk about that and other ideas about the liberty of words. Was Jesus a railer? Well, this is perhaps one of the most controversial parts of the debate. Most Christians, I would say 99% or more of Christians hold the view that Jesus was not a railer based on 5 or 6 very strong negative railing verses in the New Testament. But that's not the whole of the story. I mean, we have to look a little bit deeper. And if you will, go and look up the word upbraid, which is the good way to correct somebody, as Jesus corrected cities and even his own disciples. Upbraid, if you'll do a word search on that, you'll find it occurs 40 times in the Old and New Testaments. So, and then under that, look and see if you can find the word rail or revile as a definition. And that will be the start of your trying to understand how this relates to the liberty of words for the open-air preachers or for Christians in general. So, was Jesus a railer? I say unequivocally he was a holy upbraider, and upbraiding is defined as railing and reviling, and we'll talk about that more later.